Welcome to Power Dynamic Book by Mayor Cyrille. Today we are talking on part 3, chapter 4, more of what you need to know before taking action to solve a problem. Understanding the fundamentals of financial freedom. Before diving into financial freedom and power dynamics, it is important to address some key prerequisites. Many people operate under assumptions that may not serve them well. To navigate financial success effectively, we must first understand 10 key aspects. The first two, self-awareness and power, form the foundation of this journey. 1. Self-awareness, knowing yourself. The first step towards financial freedom is self-awareness, a clear understanding of who you are and how you operate. This self-knowledge helps you to make informed financial decisions. To develop self-awareness, ask yourself these 5 essential questions. Who am I? That's your strength. What am I not good at? Weaknesses. What can I become, or who do I want to be? Opportunities. What should I avoid? Threats. When will I take action? Time management. Before addressing financial challenges, you must first understand yourself. Without this clarity, even the best financial strategies may not be effective. 2. The ability to influence. The second fundamental concept is power, a crucial factor in financial success. As children, we understood power in a unique way. We influence our parents through vulnerability, persuading them to buy us gifts, pay for school fees, or meet our needs without realizing it. We exercise power through dependency and emotional influence. As adults, power takes on a different form. Some people hold power through ability, while others wield power through vulnerability, especially in relationships, where we often seek care and support. The key lesson: in the world of finance, power is the ability to influence. Wealth is not solely a result of hard work. Many hardworking people remain poor, while some who exert influence, even with less effort, become wealthy. Understanding how power operates in both ability and vulnerability will shape your financial decision and overall success. Time awareness. The key to effective time management. You have probably heard the saying that time is money. Those who manage their time well stay ahead of their tasks, while those who struggle with time management often fall behind. There are 2 common reasons people are late for appointments. 1. Lack of preparation. Failing to prepare in advance leads to delays and inefficiency. 2. Absent-mindedness. A lack of focus can cause distraction, making it easy to lose track of time. Time management is a critical skill, especially for students. The more absent-minded or disorganized they are, the more they struggle to keep up with their academic and personal responsibilities. For relationship and networking, the power of your social circle. Show me your friends, and I will tell you who you are. Your environment plays a significant role in shaping your identity. Your neighborhood defines your surroundings and influences your lifestyle. Your habits and choices reflect what you consume, both physically and mentally. It is crucial to be intentional about the people you associate with. People with reckless mindsets often lead reckless life. That is why students, no matter how well raised, can be deeply influenced by their peers in the university. A strong and supportive environment fosters personal growth. To navigate relationships wisely, you need 2 key qualities: curiosity, the desire to learn, explore, and grow, and willpower, the strength to make wise choices despite external pressure.
We are going to the 5th point. We are still under chapter 4, part 3 of the book. The 5th point is family ties, a double-edged sword. Family has a profound impact on human development. It can both be source of protection and limitation. While it's often seen as a privilege to have supportive family and relatives, sometimes family expectations can hold individuals back. Minds conditioned to expect rather than explore often lack curiosity. family support is invaluable until you challenge traditional expectations. For instance, if a family expects their children to work in a family business, those who choose a different career path may face resistance. If a family values religious rituals like morning devotion and evening prayers, a member who stops participating may be seen as an outsider. Family operates on interests, protecting and providing while also imposing its own values. But true success often comes from foregoing one's own path. If given a choice between inheriting wealth and building wealth, which would bring you greater fulfillment? History shows that most of the world's greatest names are 80% self-made and only 20% inherited wealth. Choose your path wisely. Communication. If not us, then who? That's the question. When you open your mouth, the world knows about your education. We may not know who the leaders of tomorrow are, but one thing is certain. We know what it takes to be a great leader. Communication has always been essential. It was in the beginning, it is now, and it will be at the end. From the quotes above, it is clear that you must be intentional about how people perceive you. Guard your reputation with great concern and determination. There may be joy in frivolous arguments and charms in a wide smile, but there is no respect in a noisy environment. Great communication is intentional. Define the extent of what you want people to know. Humans tend to respect what they don't fully understand. Control your narrative. Do not let others define you by your background or circumstances. The best way to shape your identity is through consistent communication about your transformation and achievements. Do not let gossip dictate your reputation. Instead, regularly share your perspective on important matters. Make your stance known. Avoid toxic environments and negative influences. Speak up when your opinion is needed and learn from those who already exemplify great communication. These are the small but powerful steps to mastering this skill. Routine. The key to success. Just like rituals, routines are a common practice among the wealthy. From childhood, successful individuals learn and teach their children the importance of structured daily habits. Consider your daily activities. What do you do first thing in the morning? How do you spend your commute? What is your approach to the first hours at work? How do you use your breaks? What is your nighttime routine? Being intentional about these moments shapes your productivity and success. However, do not fall into the trap of repetitive action that yield no growth. Even if you had unlimited access to wealth, spending 24 hours collecting money without a plan will still leave you unprepared for challenges. Likewise, even if you had a book that guarantees salvation, reading it all one day might overwhelm rather than enlighten you. Everything must be done at the right time. People who do the wrong things at the right time suffer the same fate as those who procrastinate. The key to continuous productivity, a well-structured routine. For instance, if you go jogging in the morning, use that time to listen to an audiobook. If you jog for an hour, that's 60 minutes of learning. If you increase the speed of the audio, you might cover 120 minutes worth of content in the same time. Imagine starting your year with these habits. You would have absorbed a wealth of knowledge in just a few minutes. The goal is not to read every book, but to read books that prepare your mind for action. If you work with people daily, prioritize books on emotional intelligence. If you read a book like The Laws of Human Nature, Study it repeatedly until you internalize its lessons. Mastering valuable insights will allow you to apply them effortlessly rather than merely recalling quotes. Success is built on intentional communication and structured routines. Master both and you will be in control of your growth and influence. The power of family dining and intentional action. In today's fast-paced world, people engage in different activities for relaxation. Some meditate, others go trekking. However, one powerful and often overlooked practice is dining together as a family. If you have a family, make it a priority to share meals at the dining table. More than just eating, the dining
table serves as a space where important aspects of life unfold, such as practicing table manners and etiquette, strengthening family bond, sharing challenges at work or school, discussing future goals and aspirations. A family should be shaped by shared experience and values. If you grow up without open conversation with your parents, don't let your children go through that same experience. Correct the past by creating a better future. Introduce positive routines and habits that will shape them as they grow. The power of action. Many people spend a lot of time thinking but fail to take action, often due to fear. Fear, at its core, is a lack of action, of information. It also comes from being in the wrong environment. If you consider listening to people who don't align with your vision, they will eventually influence your action. Surround yourself with those who inspire growth. It is crucial to recognize energy drainers, people or habits that pull you down. Some individuals pray for a husband or wife, yet their lives are already filled with distraction and wrong relationships. Before receiving what you desire, you must create space for it. The same principle applies to finance. Many ask God for money, yet when He looks at their daily routine, it is consumed by distraction. Constantly replying to messages, engaging in meaningless conversations, and seeking validation through social media. Bold intentional action. True action is not passive. It is bold and intentional. When you act with confidence and purpose, people will be drawn to your energy and want to follow your lead. If you want a better life, start making decisions that align with your goals. Cut off distraction, build better habits, and take deliberate steps towards your future. Change begins with small, consistent actions. Whether it is fostering financial connection or taking charge of your life, make every decision count. Number 9, show up the power of consistency. The tendency to seek justification is growing. We are excited to announce a new job, but as soon as we realize our incompetency, we want to drop out or lose enthusiasm. The same applies to fitness. We eagerly commit to weight loss, but once we recognize the effort required, we start slowing down. But slowing down will never speed up the process. You want a flat tummy, a toned body, and better health. You believe the first step was joining a gym, yet when reality sets in, you think taking it easy will help. Like many other misconceptions, the human mind is fallible. We deceive ourselves daily, believing that doing less is the only way to reach our goals. Consistency is the key to success. In fitness, finances, and personal growth, people trust you based on two things: that you show up and that you are accountable. A lack of accountability is why many remain stagnant in business and life. They fail to take responsibility and then wonder why others move forward. Even inherited wealth, built through discipline and persistence, will disappear without follow through. At the end of the day, people pay for reliability, consistency, and effort. Show up, stay accountable. That is the real path to success. You will never be right in the beginning. If you think people will immediately buy into your crazy idea, they won't. The day you start and you are alone, walk as if the world is watching. That is true self-confidence. When you eventually have 100 people by your side, keep working with the same energy. There is power in self-confidence. People's perception of you may change, but your perception of yourself should remain steadfast. True strength is measured when you have nothing. Because once you have something, it only reflects what was already occupying your mind. If your mind is preoccupied with improving the lives of others, wealth will naturally flow into your hands. But if you are consumed by the desire to exploit others, even wealth won't change who you are at core. This book is about building confidence, not just appearance, but through resilience. You must resist temptation and be mindful of the fallibility of the mind.
Chapter 5. Here we have emphasis on mindset. This chapter builds upon chapter 4 by expanding on the mindset shifts we previously outlined. Earlier, we discussed 10 key ideas to help shape the reader's perspective when engaging with this book. Here, we focus on daily life activities, things the reader has likely encountered before, either directly or indirectly. However, the difference here is that adopting these qualities is not merely a matter of choice. Instead, it requires deliberate effort, patience, endurance, and courage. Most people have heard common advice from parents or mentors. Avoid bad company. Choose your friends wisely. Wake up early to maximize your day. Be punctual and responsible. Yet, despite knowing these principles, many people struggle to apply them consistently. Why is this the case? Even though we emphasize the importance of these qualities before engaging with this book, a significant percentage, perhaps 80 to 90% of readers may still fail to frame their mindset properly. Here is why. 1. Rushing through the process. Many readers approach self-help books with the goal of simply finishing them rather than truly absorbing their lessons. The purpose of this book is not to be read and shelved, but to be used as a guide for daily life. True transformation requires dedication, not speed. Point 2. Mistaking small wins for the final goal. Think of an injury. When the wound heals, a scar often remains, while the pain may be gone. The mark serves as a reminder. Many people fail to address the deeper scars left behind. Similarly, when people see minor improvements in their lives, they withdraw their effort too soon. This is especially evident in areas like fitness or personal development. When someone starts exercising and experiences initial relief or progress, they may feel accomplished and become complacent, eventually quitting the process altogether. But real growth happens when we push through beyond the first sign of improvement. This idea is misleading, a fabrication of human mind designed to deceive us. Let's take marriage as an example. In legally recognized marriages, many principles and guidelines are discussed, much like the 10 steps often outlined for financial progress. However, just as with financial advice, only a few couples truly follow these principles. Many find reasons or excuses for why they cannot adhere to them. Additionally, this book comes with an audio version, which you can listen to before bed or early in the morning for more immersive experience. Relationships and human purpose. Relationships follow us through our lives from childhood to death. As advanced beings, God has giving us a unique gift, free will. This means that no matter what level of hardship or cruelty we may face, we must never forget the power of choice that God has granted us. Many people limit their existence to mere survival, focusing only on food, comfort, and satisfying their immediate needs. But if we live only for these things, how are we any different from domesticated animals like a fowl that simply eats, rests, and repeats the cycle daily? Humans were created for more than just survival. God has given us a greater purpose to continue His mission on earth. We are meant to be more than just consumers of what life offers. Instead, we should be sources of growth, provision, and inspiration for others. Ambition is what pushes people to go beyond the ordinary. It is what leads some to make sacrifices, work harder, and ultimately stand out as future leaders. Where can such people be found? They exist in schools, churches, workplaces, anywhere there are individuals who refuse to settle for mediocrity. These are the people who step beyond the usual expectations, who push themselves further, and who achieve extraordinary results. Curiosity leads to research. Research leads to understanding, and understanding leads to transformation. To truly grasp the message of this book, ask yourself, what are you living for? What do you expect from your relationships, your marriage, or your future? Are you simply following the same patterns as those before you, or are you striving for something greater? This.
A meaningful life must be built on a vision. Without a clear purpose, we risk falling into the same cycle of those who came before us. The question is, will you settle or will you rise? Some people believe they must first have all their children before pursuing financial freedom or moving forward with their lives. However, it is not our focus here. Our focus is on how people, including family members, can unknowingly or intentionally destroy each other. A mother can harm her own child just as a visionless husband or wife can become a stumbling block in a marriage, leading to collapse. Life is complex. Many people put in tremendous effort but see little return. This book acknowledges that financial success, like life itself, has seasons. Just as income fluctuates over time, there are heights and lows in various aspects of life. Even in sports, there are days when no matter how much effort you put in, the results remain unchanged. The key to success is persistence. Continuing to push forward despite temporary setbacks. Those who truly understand wealth recognize that low earning periods are inevitable and continue working through them. Unlike those who lack this knowledge and give up at the first sign of difficulty. Giving up has never solved any problem. Neither having all your children before seeking financial stability nor envying others' successes will fix your own life. A mindset open to gradual growth is essential. One day, when work feels unproductive, find even the smallest thing that brings you joy. Hold on to it and let it motivate you. Progress isn't about achieving everything in a single day. It is about consistency, knowing that tomorrow may bring you challenges or opportunities. This book is also about embracing God's abundant love and using it to uplift those around us. True fulfillment comes when your life becomes a springboard for others' success. We do not live just for ourselves, but to create an environment where others can thrive. When your legacy positively impacts people, you find peace, knowing you have lived a meaningful life. Many believe that power is tied to hierarchy, such as the notion that a husband is the most powerful in a marriage. However, true power lies in decision making and impact. While a husband may be the primary financial provider, it is often the wife who manages household decisions, choosing the children's schools, buying groceries, and furnishing the home. This raises an important question: where does power truly reside? Power is not just about wealth or status, it is also about vulnerability. If you only see power in terms of financial success, you will misunderstand its true nature. The wealthy can be miserable if they lack purpose and impact. Generating income without using it to create change leads to emptiness. For instance, during the American election, we saw billionaires like Elon Musk engage in political discourse. While many wealthy individuals exist, Musk stands out because he understands the principle of impact. Wealth alone does not define power. How you use it does. This is the mindset we want to instill in you. Go beyond limitation of your status, whether as a spouse or as an employee or as a coach or as an entrepreneur. Take on challenges that set you apart. Do not wait for others to act before you take initiatives. Relying on external factors for survival is risky. For example, if a woman depends entirely on her husband for food money, what happens if he suddenly passes away? Preparedness is key to navigating life's uncertainties. In this book, we will explore the concepts further: how to embrace growth, overcome setback, and redefine power in a way that leads to lasting fulfillment and financial freedom. Time management. We began with an important question: what makes people fail to respect time? One common assumption about time is that there is plenty of it. This mindset leads people to indulge in small distraction, thinking it won't make much of a difference. However, once distraction take hold, especially those from social media, they can consume an entire day, leaving little room for meaningful productivity. Take, for instance, the effect of social media on marriage. In today's world, long-distance relationships are becoming the norm. Even among physical present couples, these dynamics stains marriages, reduces productivity at work, and hinders professional and personal growth. Being physically present but absent-minded is like preparing a dining table with a clean bottle, only to fill in with dirty water. Productivity requires full attention, and when the mind is elsewhere, mistakes happen. In relationships, absent-mindedness can even lead to infidelity. Over time, this lack of focus and emotional connection can create resentment. Some women, for instance, may begin wishing for their husband's death just to gain financial freedom and travel abroad. Others might look forward to their children growing up and moving out simply to escape a disconnected home. The truth is, when your mind is not present, neither are you. Time management is not just about being punctual. It is about being fully engaged in the moment, whether at work, in relationships, or in social settings. Only then can true growth, success, and fulfillment take place.
Chapter 6: Motivation. Motivation, in relation to power, is often defined as the drive or desire to achieve, influence, or control others and situations. This concept is frequently explored in psychological theories, particularly those focused on power dynamics and social influence. However, the definition of motivation in this context cannot be complete without highlighting the following key points. 1. Power motivation. Power motivation refers to a psychological drive where individuals are fueled by the desire for power, authority, and control. People with higher power motivation often seek to influence others and are more likely to take on leadership roles. 2. Types of power. Psychologists categorize power into different types, including coercive power, the ability to impose penalties or consequences; reward power, the ability to offer reward or benefits; legitimate power, authority based on one's position or role; reference power, influence based on personal traits or the respect others have for you; expert power, influence derived from knowledge or specialized skills. Point 3. Influence on behavior. Those motivated by power often exhibit assertive behavior, seek leadership positions, and strive for recognition and status. Their desire for control can shape the way they interact with others and influence their choices. We have social context. The way power motivation manifests can vary depending on cultural and social context. This influences how individuals pursue their goals and interact with others. In different environments, people may respond to power differently, shaping their behavior and aspirations. Positive and negative aspects of power. While the desire for power can lead to effective leadership and social change, it can also result in manipulation or authoritarian behavior. The balance between positive and negative power dynamics is crucial in determining the overall impact of one's motivation. Understanding motivation through the lens of power provides valuable insights into human behavior, especially in organizational settings, politics, and social interaction. The concepts of power and motivation are intricately connected, as power often drives individuals to achieve greater goals. This connection is crucial in understanding the pathway to financial freedom within the dynamics of power. Motivation, however, is often overrated because it's not just about the drive, it's about the process before and after the action. If motivation were the sole key to success, then people
in certain circumstances, like a woman married to a wealthy man, will all be wealthy themselves simply by emulating their partner's lifestyle. Likewise, a job seeker living with a worker will easily find employment by copying their behavior. But this is not the reality, because true transformation requires more than observation. Many people remain stuck in their habits and are reluctant to let go of outdated beliefs. For example, people often resist change by believing others are foolish for doing things the way they themselves don't understand or agree with. There is a natural tendency to resist what we are told or try to convert those around us to see the world from our perspectives. This resistance fosters cynicism, skepticism, and procrastination. It is easier for people to hope for the failure of others than to take responsibility for their own lives. For instance, in political context, people may wish for a leader's downfall rather than praying for improvement in their leadership. This kind of greed and frustration keeps individuals from advancing, both in their personal lives and in society. Those who are already having wealth may read a book like this one with great interest, recognizing that much of what is discussed aligns with their existing mindsets and practices. They will be fascinated by how these ideas can be articulated clearly and effectively. However, those who are still struggling may carry a more negative outlook, thinking they can mask their insecurities with facades of confidence. In personal relationships, such as between a husband and a wife, there is often a disconnect when it comes to understanding the sacrifices necessary to create wealth. A wife who has no financial expertise might attempt to advise her husband on money management, but without the maturity or knowledge to do so effectively. Similarly, an immature husband might attempt to counsel his wife without understanding the true nature of financial success. The author of this book is speaking from experience. They have achieved financial stability, enjoy a comfortable lifestyle, and have the freedom to travel, all while maintaining a successful career. The wealth they have is not defined by outward appearance, such as the car they drive or the house they live in, but by the internal understanding of wealth and success. They have been experienced the challenges of working in a shared office for many years, but through persistence, they were able to rise and offer opportunity now to others. True wealth isn't defined by material possession. It is about understanding the principles that lead to financial independence. This book is designed to help you grow, not just as a person, but in your financial mindset as well. If you are reading this book with an open mind and a willingness to learn, you will start to realize that the first step towards financial freedom are often the hardest to take, but they are the most rewarding. Some successful and wealthy people are often miserable. Why there is joy in putting smile on people's face every day, that is the wonder of life. The poor man may actually be better off than the rich man because he puts in effort every day. That is the miracle of life. There is no wonder in simply watching TV, chasing flirting pleasure. Those things offer no real satisfaction. They only deceive the eyes. True fulfillment comes from engaging in life's activities and teaching others, especially all our children, valuable lessons that help them grow. Unfortunately, many rich people see life through a narrow, distorted lens, believing that the world revolves around obvious reality. When you adopt this mindset, thinking that there is nothing new to be learned from reading a book or exploring new ideas, you are trapped in an obvious reality. This perspective has ruined many lives and will continue to do so if we are not careful. 50 years from today, if God grants us long life, we will still be telling stories for future generations. Whether we succeeded in executing our ideas or not, those trapped in obvious reality will still be stuck in their circle, believing nothing good can come from new ideas, while the rest of us continue to move forward, evolving. This brings me to the point that motivation is often overrated. Motivation alone cannot change anything. The choice to act is what matters. Some people may follow, but they also want to lead. This creates resistance, and though it may be frustrating, don't let it discourage you. Your followers may sometimes feel entitled to lead, but remember, they are there because they look up to you. In the earlier part of this book, I explained that power isn't just the ability to lead. It's also involves vulnerability. Power isn't limited to those at the top. The truth is, those at the top may need you even more than you realize. If you are not loyal, you will quickly be replaced. Loyalty, commitment, and skillful following can elevate you in ways that mere position cannot. As God told Peter, He will build His church on the rock where Peter stood. This wasn't a physical rock, but a foundation of faith. Even though Jesus lived over 2,000 years ago, His teaching and the impact continue to inspire millions. His absence has only made His influence stronger because He left us His word and personal example. If you live your life to serve others, you will find more meaning and fulfillment than if you live solely to take from others. It is much easier to exploit others than to sacrifice for them. This spirit of sacrifice is one to emulate. especially when thinking about wealth. Wealth isn't about impressing others, it is about serving them. You can only gain more by giving, because giving is likely planting seeds in people's life. I had a conversation with my wife recently where she asked, "Don't you have pity?" Where I asked, "Don't you have pity on me?" She asked why, and I replied, "Even when I am broke, I still try to give, and it's only multiply the things I need." She responded, "Yes, but you don't have pity on yourself." For her, giving is a waste. For me, it is sowing seeds of trust in others. If you only trust your family, it means you have lost sight of the broader picture. Your true family extends beyond blood relations to those who support your growth. There are people in your life whose good deeds can never be compared to those of your relatives, because they see your potential and are dedicated to helping you achieve it. God often works through others to fulfill his purpose in our life, and this includes people outside our biological circle. You must be open to trust others until they prove unworthy of it. Surprisingly, those who think you can trust the most, your family and closest friends, might be the ones pulling you back. Many of those who will help you don't know your past, but they see the light in you and want to help you shine. Trusting the right people is crucial for growth. As I write this second book, I reflect on how much has changed since my first book. When I wrote the first book, I was single, had no child, and was facing few responsibilities. Now, I am married with a child and have more bills to pay than ever before. You might think I will be more broke and unhappy, but that's not the case. Life is all about connection, and nothing is wasted in this life. Everything is a link in a chain that leads us forward. Though it is becoming more difficult to have one-on-one contact with people, writing this book has allowed me to share my thoughts in an organized way. Through my daily interaction, I have realized that nothing is wasted. Even as I walk towards my first million, I want to share the principles that have helped me grow. This leads to the next point: how to move forward. Whether you are starting with a daily income of 1,000 francs, the key is to keep going. You must be open to learning, networking, focusing on fitness, family, and time management. These are the ingredients that will help you succeed. I will dive deeper into these ideas in the next chapter, where I will share my ventures, my investment, my successes, and failure. If you think my journey is worth emulating, then I welcome you to join me. Life is a choice, and I will never force anyone to follow me. Buy my books or be part of my journey, but those who choose to criticize me will never have a second chance, no matter who they are. If you choose to stay, I promise to challenge your perceptions, lighten your mood, and help you see life differently. The secret is managing your mindset, connecting with the right people, taking control of your time, and trusting that God has a greater purpose for you. If you are ready to take the journey, welcome. Let's ride on.
Chapter 7. Marriage. Marriage is a legally and socially recognized union between two people, often referred to as spouses. In the case we are discussing, a part-time teacher who got another student pregnant just as he did with the first. After both pregnancies, the mothers moved in with the teacher's parents. This situation raises a few questions. Why didn't the first pregnancy lead to marriage? Did he officially marry the second woman? We are talking about a teacher who falls in love with his students, even though they are in lower sixth, and ends up getting them pregnant. The mothers always end up living with his parents after giving birth. The first pregnancy happened when the teacher was 36 years old, and his parents started putting pressure on him to settle down because his younger siblings were already having children. They worried that if he didn't marry, he might lose respect in the family. This pressure didn't result in marriage after the first pregnancy, but when the second pregnancy came, the teacher's parents, despite being Christians and facing disapprovals from the church and community, began to encourage him to leave for the city to escape the judgment. The second baby mama moved back to her own family but left the child with the teacher's parents. The second woman eventually married another man, a civil servant, while continuing her studies. A year later, the teacher impregnated another student. This time, the girl's parents forced him to sign a civil marriage document, likely through illegal means, without a traditional or church wedding. This girl too was still in lower six. The girl gave birth but was still living with the teacher's parents, while her own family didn't come to visit or help with the baby. I asked the teacher's sister-in-law why the girl's mother didn't come to care for the newborn. She explained that each family has its own way of doing things. However, I remembered when the sister-in-law gave birth and her own mother had not come for us despite the distance. I started realizing that this pattern was not unique to the teacher. Several of his younger brothers had similar experiences. One brother's girlfriend lived with the family for 3 years before moving to another town where she had 2 more children with different men. She later complained that the boy wasn't ready to settle down. Another brother also signed a civil marriage contract without a proper wedding. This situation raised concerns about a power struggle within the family. When I started planning my wedding, my wife's father suggested this kind of marriage, though not directly. When I rejected it, he became upset. It dawned on me that this situation might be a form of human trafficking, where young men are exploited and families use their connections to manipulate situations to their advantage. This could be seen as a way of teaching the younger generation that they can dominate others because of their position or influence. This brings me to the broader issue of how marriages are conducted today. The range of marriages from cohabitation and distant relationships to contract marriages or polygamous arrangement is astonishing. Modern marriage is often viewed in various forms: civil marriage, religious marriage, common law marriages, arranged marriage and same-sex marriages, group marriage, cohabitation, temporary marriage, and open marriage. Marriage is supposed to involve more than just a legal contract. It should be about commitment, understanding, and friendship. The relationship progresses through stages: dating, courtship, and then marriage. These stages are essential because marriage cannot thrive without a solid foundation of friendship. You need to know your partner, understand each other's body language, and communicate through small actions like a touch, a glance, or a gesture to build trust. Trust is key in marriage, but it becomes problematic when one partner is manipulative or demands too much financially. The relationship becomes imbalanced, and one partner may feel like an object to be used or controlled. This type of manipulation is a natural human tendency, but it can be toxic in a relationship. Marriage, whether monogamous or polygamous, requires full commitment. In monogamy, one man is committed to one woman, while in polygamy, one man may have multiple wives or one woman may have multiple husbands. The acceptance and legality of polygamy vary across cultures, but it often remains in contrast to monogamy, which emphasizes exclusively loyalty and commitment. There are many types of marriages today, each with its own set of expectations and benefits. For instance, marriage can offer emotional support, financial stability, and legal advantages. Married couples often provide each other with emotional or health problems. with emotional stability, supporting each other through challenges like loss or health problems. Financially, marriage can bring about shared income and expenses, leading to better security. Legally, married couples enjoy various advantages like tax benefits, inheritance rights, and healthcare decision-making privileges. Challenges of marriage. 1. Communication. Example, many couples struggle with effective communication, which can lead to misunderstandings. For instance, differing expectations about household responsibilities can cause conflict. 2. Infidelity. Infidelity can deeply impact trust and stability in marriage. High-profile cases such as those involving celebrities often highlight the emotional turmoil infidelity can cause. 3. Financial strain. Example, economic challenges like job loss or unexpected expenses can place significant strain on a marriage. Couples may face stress if they cannot agree on budgeting or financial priorities. While there are various challenges that marriages can face, I want to focus on my own experience. This chapter is not just about the types of marriages, but about the personal journey I have with my wife over the years. Our marriage has spanned 14 years and we have one child together. I've been through a lot, and I want to share some of the lessons I've learned along the way, my marital journey. I have been married to my wife for 14 years, and our journey has not been without its challenges. One of the most difficult aspects of our marriage has been financial hardship. There was a time when I was living on just 1,000 francs a day to support my entire family. During this period, I developed health issues, including diabetes, due to the stress and poor nutrition that came with financial struggles. At one point, I lost my job and things became even more difficult. I often went without breakfast, focusing instead on providing for my family. I was overwhelmed, but I decided to engage in fitness to cope with the emotional and physical toll. Unfortunately, during this time, my wife began to change in ways I didn't expect. She became distant, spending more time out of the house and keeping late nights. Even when I was home, she would sit outside with the neighbors instead of being with me. She even started being unfaithful. She resisted intimacy with me, and when we did sleep together, she would call out another man's name. But I had already begun working on my emotions, so this didn't affect me as much as it might have been before. The truth was, all of these behaviors stemmed from the fact that I had no money. She also began prioritizing visits to her family over mine, and because I wasn't the one providing for her travel, I felt powerless to say anything. Our struggles extended to having a child. I wasn't sure if I was ready to be a father, and the uncertainty created tension. After much internal conflict, one evening I went out, got drunk, and came back home in a rage. In that moment, I held my wife in a way I had never done before, and the result was the birth of our son, Junior. I don't drink alcohol now anymore, not because I've never had a drink, but because it played a part in my health crisis. The combination of poor nutrition and excessive drinking led to my health issues. Fitness has since been my path to recovery. A turning point in my relationship. One evening, after dinner, I had a deep conversation with my wife, reminding her of the things she had done to me during our toughest times. That's when she opened up, revealing that she had only been using me as a bridge to reach her own goals. She said things that could have driven me mad, but I didn't react. In the past, she had told me that I needed to go back to school, or else she would find someone who could better meet her needs. Instead of breaking down, I took these harsh words as fuel to fight for financial freedom. Ironically, it was her words that triggered my drive to improve my situation. Though it hurts, I also have to thank her for pushing me to work harder. Despite everything, she never left me. She remains by my side, which ultimately helped me grow. I often call her my home manager because even in our toughest times, she managed our family's needs with the limited resources we had. It takes a special kind of person to manage a family on 1,000 francs a day, especially in today's world with rising prices. Her ability to make things work is something I will always admire. Polygamy and my beliefs. Although I signed a polygamous marriage contract, I want to clarify that I don't believe my wife is unworthy of being my one and only partner. The reason I signed for polygamy is rooted in African cultural norms, where it's believed that a man should have more than one wife. I view polygamy as a form of healthy competition. It pushes each other to the best version of themselves, striving for appreciation and recognition from their husband. While polygamy is not always easy, I see it as part of my personal journey, especially in my pursuit of financial freedom. I believe that to achieve success, you must fight physically, mentally, emotionally, and economically. For me, polygamy is not just a cultural choice, but also a way to encourage that competition and growth. Conclusion: marriage is a complex institution that varies greatly across different cultures and personal circumstances. While it can offer immense emotional and financial support, it also brings its own set of challenges. The key to overcoming these challenges lies in commitment, communication, and resilience. As I have shared in this chapter, financial freedom cannot be achieved without significant effort. It's a battle on multiple fronts: physical, mental, emotional, and financial. My marriage has been a journey of growth, hardship, and eventual transformation. And while this chapter focuses on my personal experiences, it's clear that understanding these dynamics is crucial for fostering healthy and lasting partnership.
That is how we saw it for this part 3. We shall be back again. Until then, stay glued to our different episodes. Bye bye.